Good day, fellas. I hope you're ready for your daily dose of skill. Today I have an interesting video for you. So, 780. Many of us bought it. Many of us woke up 7, 6, 5 in the morning to get this vehicle for ourselves. And some of the people were sweating their buttholes off in the job whenever they were tuning in on the phone, in the live streams, and asking how many of the tanks left because I might miss out because I have life and I have job and I simply couldn't be there in the morning, right? And oh boy, what kind of vehicle we have. First of all, this is one of those case scenarios when everything is looking ideal on the paper. I mean, oh my bananas. Promo video from Wargaming side, they presented this tank like it's very powerful tank, right? And you know what? It is looking like very powerful tank on the paper. But you know what? Paper is created for to wipe your ass. This is what paper is created for. So fellas, who wants to see a gameplay, feel free to skip somewhere over there, right? This is going to be a timestamp where you will see one game with this vehicle and I will talk about that, the best game which I had overall. And now speaking about the stuff, I really want to highlight things. So, I played with this vehicle for 75 games. I'm scoring for the level 9 scoring performance. And I did everything what I could. I played with a different equipment setup. I tried to test out this vehicle without protection technology or however it's called. And you know how I felt with this tank? I felt like I am playing the Russian roulette. Whenever I am getting hit, I am feeling like there is 50% chance to be lit on fire. So, not to lie for you, 50 games played, I burned 8 times. If you were on the stream, you know exactly what I am talking about. I hated this vehicle, fellas, and I still do, even though, you know, the tank might look somehow decent. Anyways, let's talk about this. This is very important thing to say, right? So, first of all, let's talk about tank performance overall. There is already 250,000 battles played in last 3 days, and people are performing on average, well, 50% win ratio, including all great players, because all of them wanted to get this vehicle for themselves, right? So this is very poor performance in my opinion. It will drop down over time, or people will stop playing with the tank because it is not good, right? So when we have this out of the way, this tank is performing poor. You can say whatever you want, but it's just how it goes. Now, I really want to highlight the things. This vehicle is looking great on the paper. It truly does. Looking into the armor, oh my bananas, look at that armor, 300mm thickness, auto bounces. It looks amazing. Until someone loads heat. Yeah, it looks amazing until someone loads gold. And now, speaking about the standard setup with this tank. Now, pay attention how low this tank is compared to, let's say, the same higher tanks. Let's take E5 for example, right? Or T57. T57, it is taller tank. You know what is happening in the closer distance whenever they are facing this vehicle? Well, I can tell you what is happening, fellas. So, you are overall low tank, you are enjoying yourself quite a bit, right? And if you are meeting someone taller... unlucky. Okay, so yeah, hashtag never lucky, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, hashtag never lucky. Not really reliable armor, even though it looks extremely good on the paper. What is happening if you are side scrapping? Well, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, if you are side scrapping on the corner, Bad things are happening. Very, very bad things are happening. And you know what I noticed while playing with this tank? If you are using your gun depression to the maximum, right? You are using your gun depression. Now, so many people overpeaked with this vehicle. So many people overpeaked because the lower plate is so close to the upper plate. It is very hard to predict where your lower plate starts, at least in the first days. And you are taking one for the team quite a bit. And even though you are using the gun depression properly, people will load gold and still penetrate you in the face. Yeah, I really wanted to share that with you. It was absolutely amazing. Oh, before everything, skill, can you reverse side scrap with this tank? No. I don't know. Oh, okay. I really wanted to show the armor module of this vehicle. It is super important thing to do in my humble opinion. I just needed to highlight this. So, once again, unfortunately, the content creators did not had a chance to test this vehicle before obviously making a videos or something to have a full review. I had the first impressions. I had a great time in the first impressions. For now, right? You saw the video. I believe you did. If you didn't, feel free to check it out. But in the end of the day, whenever I played more games, I hated it. I personally struggled the most how to make the armor work since the tank shape is so damn hard. Whenever I was trying to use the gun depression, I was exposing my lower plate and it was very hard. Side scrapping with this vehicle is not an option because people are penetrating you over there. If you are not using modified configuration, you are pretty much crossing your fingers and saying, please RNG, do not let me lit on marshmallows! And then you are pretty much cooking your marshmallows on your tank. And in the same time, the most important thing for me to say, the gun. Gun is looking amazing. Gun is looking ideal. Gun is looking like the best gun in the world of tanks. It truly does look very, very nice. Comparing with a 277, for example, right? Or compare it to, let's say, 260. It looks so much better. But you know what? 260 gun, in my opinion, is better than this vehicle. It looks great on the paper. In reality, it is kaku. It truly is. I think for a gun handling, I mean, it is going to be average gun. Yeah, it looks nice on the paper, but paper is not everything, fellas. It is very, very important thing to say. And overall, -7 gun depression nowadays is not that great, honestly. It is not that great. So, when I have this out of the way, I really wanted to show everything about this vehicle. It made me rage quit the game, and it happens very, very rarely when I actually click Alt F4 from the stream after streaming, whatever, 8 hours or something, and I said, fellas, I love you, but this time killed my soul. And it happened couple of times. I can show you how expectation values changed on this tank, so let's go for one live battle. You will see how everything is looking like, but let's spice the things up, fellas. What do I mean by saying that? Let's try to see, are we going to burn with this vehicle or we are not going to burn with this vehicle, okay? I'm removing the modified configuration and I'm going for one game, because I think the next game is going to be, we will raise up to 70% of Mark of Excellence. That's what I want to believe. So let's teleport into the game, right? We are back. One more thing which I forgot to say. What do I think about the tank? Is the tank good or the tank is bad? Fellas, the tank overall is okay. But to learn how to play with this vehicle, it's like we would have a flying cars now, and after first day or after first 2 days we would need to be a Schumacher of the flying cars. It is very, very hard tank to play with, and it's not only about that, it is unreliable. It's like you have a gun and you have 50% chance the gun will shoot or gun will clog up. It's like you have a bodysuit armor where there is a gaps in your armor, right? And if you will get hit somewhere where armor is, you are going to take one for the team. It is super important thing to highlight, and I'm not afraid to say so out loud. The tank is not bad. It truly, honestly, not bad. But It is extremely, extremely, extremely hard tank to play with. Like, very hard tank to play with. I would love to say something else, but I just simply cannot. Wow, that was a beautiful shot, fellas. Okay, let's see what we can do and how we can play. Now in this situation, my lower plate is raised. You know what that means? That means if enemies will peek over there, they will shred me like hot knife through the butter. So this is not very good thing. If I will peek like this, my lower plate is raised and he will penetrate me. So once again, I cannot play in this position because -7 gun depression is not good enough, and in the same time, unfortunately, but it is just not good deal for me, if that makes sense. It is just simply not worth to pick. Moving on next. Can we do something bad for this Vaza? And yes, we can. Beautiful shot. Excellent. The gun is amazing if it hits. Alpha damage feels truly well, and it is not bad whatsoever. And I really want to highlight that. It is not looking that bad whenever the gun is hitting and whenever you are being lucky. But let's get real, fellas. Do you want to be lucky in the game? In other words, do you want to rely only on luck whenever you are doing something? Because in my humble opinion, relying on luck is not the ideal option, or not that good option overall, right? Maybe this is the right way to say the things. Anyways, we have a 2000 damage. This is great, and we haven't lost any of the hit points, which is absolutely amazing, and I'm super happy about this. But at this point, I am waiting until enemies will try to go on top of the hill. And if they will try to go on top of the hill, we are going to spank them once again, which is great. I see that Udes. Believe me, I see that Udes, fellas. Ooh, 2 shots, 2 fuel tanks damaged, and game over. And game over. I mean, look at the bright side. I wasn't being lit on fire, right? That's a positive, right, fellas? That's a positive thing. I am bouncing more with 277 than I am bouncing with this tank. Okay, let's teleport to the game where I actually made this tank work probably close to perfection, I would say, speaking about the armor usage. Let's go. Okay, fellas, we are back. Listen, this is the best battle, in my opinion, which I had with this tank. And the main reason why did I had the best battle in this kind of situation was because I was using the armor properly, I was using the things overall very well. Right? And you are going to see everything in a moment. It is going to be a pretty strong game, in my humble opinion, right? How first of all I am starting everything? I am starting everything from trying to hit the light tank, which is definitely sitting in the middle because I got spotted. Speaking about the shot, that was my fault. I cannot complain too much about this, right? That was poorly aimed by me. Well, what can I say? Hashtag never lucky. Meanwhile, luckily we managed to hit the second one, so it is completely fine, and I am feeling extremely happy, and I am feeling very great about this. Other than that, as you can see, we do not really have too many opportunities to do things here. I would love to have intuition skill, but crew members are... this tank has only 3 crew members, so have intuition skill, I need to have it on commander and on the gunner, and that pretty much means I should have a brand new crew for this tank, and it is definitely annoying. There is plenty of the other things which I could train instead. And in this kind of situation, this is a hold down play. This is a hold down play, Kranwagen and phase 1. Now, what is a bad thing? This tank can easily get penetrated into the cupola, right? Whenever you are not using the gun depression, your cupola is very visible. It might not look that big, but it is definitely possible to hit it, and if people are going to load the goal, they will penetrate you like there is no tomorrow, right? Now, right here you can see of me trying to use my accuracy and trying to hit the shots, but it is not so simple thing to do. So let's speed the replay up. I really want to show the situation when the things was, let's say, more interesting. I tried to make pressure like this, but that was stupid by me. I noticed that. I was lucky. Enemies did not penetrate me. Hip hip hooray. Like I said before, side scrapping with this vehicle unfortunately doesn't work that well, so I would highly recommend and I would highly suggest you not to side scrap, right? It's just how it goes. People will penetrate you extremely easily. So the best play with this tank is what I'm doing now. Yes, I am greedy. Yep, I am greedy, mother trucker. But in this kind of situation, let's take a second to appreciate this. We are playing pretty damn well. Now, since this vehicle, pay attention at the angles. You see, it is very easy to overestimate my powers, right? And to go a bit higher than I should, since the tank is so damn low. So you kind of cannot use your full gun depression, because if you are using it, you might expose your tank way too much in many places. So it is very complicated way to play with this vehicle. As you can see, Kran is penetrating us into the lower plate once again, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, quite a challenge to make this tank work. But in this situation, since we have gold loaded, we are penetrating the phase 1 into the frontal mantlet. If some of you did not knew that, it is definitely possible. And I am trying to use my gun in order to, let's say, to protect myself from upcoming shells. And this is super important thing to say, an important thing to do. Once again, we are using the gun perfectly right here, just to defend ourselves from that shitty situation which is incoming, right? And we are just waiting. We are holding the position and we are crossing our fingers and we are begging for enemies to peek. Beautiful shot into the phase 1 cupola. Overall in this game, gun handling worked very well for us. I truly want to highlight this. We did everything properly. Now, in this situation, I am lucky Kranwagen is not willing to load the gold. If Kranwagen would load the gold, I am doomed in this situation and this is not great. I would take one for the team and I would cry in the corner like there is no tomorrow. Yeah, I know I'm a bit aggressive in this situation, but I do not really mind, because we are crafting a very nice angle to penetrate the Kranwagen. Once again, most of the Kranwagens will have plenty of the gold ammunition. And what that means most of the Kranwagens will be able to penetrate this tank without bigger problems whatsoever. And armor of this vehicle is disappearing whenever someone is loading gold, and it doesn't matter your gold is relatively having low penetration, it doesn't change for shit, because you will get penetrated anyways. Meanwhile, Kranwagen bounced shot. Unfortunate. I think that was bad aim from my side, because I saw the reticle in the last moment. It went like auto bounce angle or something, but it is okay. We are feeling pretty damn great. Now, another bad thing. Whenever you are fighting against the tanks like T-30, you see this square over there? Yeah, unfortunately they can overmatch you. And what that pretty much means, you do not have armor on top of the turret. Right? I truly want to highlight all the bad things about this tank, and there is plenty to talk about. And even though we can get a good game where we are actually hitting our shots, where we are using our armor properly, speaking about the armor, about the damage blocked, fellas, keep this in mind. It is far away from being perfect, and that means we are quite lucky in order to get the score like this. It is just simply lucky, in my opinion. Anyways, T-30 is not paying too much attention at us, so we can peek sideways, beautiful, and all we need to do now, we need to get a bit involved. This game had a huge potential, because looking into amount of the hit points left, oh boys, we are feeling like a fresh pickles. Meanwhile, we are aiming the shot. That was bad aim, but luckily the shell velocity was good enough to pretty much save us from this bad situation, and I'm trying to finish him off. And once again, fast shell velocity, we did not need to pre-aim that much, so that's pretty good situation, and this is pretty damn good thing overall. I know Badger is sitting over there, and as you might think, once again, the armor of this vehicle is not that reliable, especially when you are fighting against the tanks like Badgers, but it's okay. I decided to simply cross through the middle for obvious reasons, because I want to build a better angle. I know the Badger is facing towards me, and with a 310 millimeters of the penetration, with a 311 millimeters of the penetration, with a the APCRs, it is not going to be great by any means and by any chance. So that's important thing to highlight. Meanwhile, we tracked Badger, so Badger is getting left, and we are going for the object. Now, luckily for us, this object is not very experienced player, because he could easily penetrate us here in the face, and I'm trying to face hug, and this is not good thing to do, fellas. Face hugging with this vehicle, it is not a great thing. If he is going to shoot me now, I will die. So, as you can see, he panicked a bit. He said, I don't want to shoot it, and we are finishing this game with a 7.3 thousand damage, with a 7,000 blocked and 1,000 assisting damage. Which is once again not bad by any means, but in the same time, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, it is far away from being ideal. Let's put that in this way. And I mean, what do I mean by saying it is far away from being ideal? It is extremely great game, but if I would play with something more competitive, let's say IS-4, I believe I would go in front like there is no tomorrow, and I would get way more use than I did with this tank. I'm not even joking. IS-4 is better tank than this vehicle is. At least reliability wise, it's way more reliable. Let's teleport to the scoreboard. I want to show you this, and I want to show how much we raised with gun marks from the previous game, even though it was bad. Let's go. So first things first, we raised it from 55 to 75% of the mark of excellence in one game. This is great. Maybe today I will have passion to play with this tank and to finish mark of excellence. Just maybe. So that's very nice thing, right? Now, moving on forward, speaking about the game which we had with this vehicle, and it was, like I said, best game with that tank. The games which I had, which I hated this vehicle, it is just a humongous amount of the games. By saying this, I mean there was so many games which I disliked when I played with this tank. It is absolutely insane, and it is honestly brain damaging amount. Also, in the same time, I know your opinion about this tank as well. By saying this is a lot of people hates this vehicle. There is some people who are saying it's okay. There is I would say there is not a single person who is saying the tank is powerful or broken. And in the best case scenario, the tank is playable, but with extremely high level of skill. So players like the Killzor, Myland, whatever, you name it, those fluffy super unicorns out of the super unicum world, right? The best players out of the best, speaking about the whatever heavy tanks or whatever else, even they will struggle to make this tank work, right? So, looking into this game, it was a great game. Ace Wanker, Steel Wall, High Caliber, hip hip hooray, and we performed well with this tank. With a minus 60,000 credits, because I was spamming full gold, and probably that's what I will keep doing until I will mark this tank. So yeah, fellas, I hope you enjoyed the honest review. I'm sorry for not letting you know this beforehand and before I test the tank properly. But once again, this is not how the things are looking like. Unfortunately, I cannot, if I cannot test the tank before, I cannot test the tank before. And on the paper, it was looking awesome. But you know what? This is a lesson for us not to trust the paper. Paper in World of Tanks means F all. Paper is just simply not reliable, and no one should trust it. So, when we have this out of the way, I hope you enjoyed yourself, I hope you had a great time, and it's time to say... see you very, very soon. Skill is out. Peace.